Vedas inform us that yoga is a transcendental science that was bestowed upon humankind by the Lord Himself. Today it has become popular for its physical benefits, which only reflect the depth of understanding that the ancient yogis had of this human body, which modern science is only validating as they realize the complexity of the organs and the musculoskeletal system and the vital energy that flows through it. However, when we go deeper into this science of yoga, we come to know that it also has very powerful techniques for mind management. And those techniques are even more vital for the enhancement of our personality, for the experience of inner joy, bliss, and for the prevention of the frittering away of our mental, emotional, and spiritual energy. If we go even deeper, yoga provides us with the methodology for our spiritual unfoldment and for the manifestation of our entire immense spiritual potential. In the Bhagavad Gita, it's a scripture which is 5,000 years old. In 700 verses of that scripture, the word yoga is mentioned 150 times. The beginning itself, the first chapter, it's got 18 chapters, and each chapter is called yoga. So the first chapter is Arjun Vishad Yoga. Arjun is in confusion. What is my duty in this particular situation that I face? We all can identify with Arjun's dilemma because we often come up in life with situations that confound us and that leave us puzzled on the proper course of action to take between the various moral options and ethical options that are before us. So, through that confusion, Arjun moves to the path of knowledge. In other words, the apparent chaos is only a stepping stone to a higher understanding. And that is why that chaos is a part of the picture of Arjun's evolvement as a soul, and hence the yoga word there. So behind the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual methodologies is the philosophy of yoga. This word yoga comes from the Sanskrit word yog. And that word yog means to unite. It's such a beautiful word that our world has such a need of today, when the whole planet has got fragmented into little communities and sects and races and countries, and within these into subgroups and sub-philosophies, until people don't realize realize the big picture, that we are all part of this one planet and ultimately the whole of creation. If we misutilize the environment sitting here in Los Angeles, it is going to impact the climate of the entire planet. If factories in China are guzzling away smoke, ultimately those molecules are going to cross the 7 oceans and 7 continents and be ingested by our lungs right here. How can we ever live in these ivory towers and think that we are disconnected from the whole? So while the world ponders over the solutions to the environmental problems that it faces, the philosophy of yoga, which is thousands of years old, gives us the solutions to environmental and climatic issues as well. And that is why you find an ancient culture where even inanimate objects were referred to with such respect. Growing up in India, we often heard that go and bathe in Mother Ganga. And then we realized that apart from our biological mother, we have a river, an inanimate object that you are expected to see as the mother. And then we were told you must respect Mother Cow. We wondered how many mothers are there. And we were told that this is Mother Earth. In the morning, when you place your feet on it, when you get out of bed, you must say a mantra to bring about in you the consciousness that this also has its personality. And you are sustaining your life from what the earth is offering. And hence you are indebted to it. And it's incumbent on you the responsibility to respect it and not exploit it. In this way we learn to see the wonderful and beautiful unity amongst not only the animate, the human beings or the animate objects, but the inanimate entities as well. So the Bhagavad Gita is called Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. Arjuna had a problem, a practical issue before him. Lord Krishna utilized that as an opportunity to make it a window through which he could show Arjuna the whole absolute truth. Thereby not only give him the solution to the present issue, but enable him to see the big picture. The word yoga also has a second meaning. How to implement that absolute truth and that knowledge in our lives. So yoga is not just the state of union. It is also the techniques and practices by which we will accomplish that union. And it's not a physical union, but a union of the consciousness between the individual being and the Supreme Being, and thereby all of creation. such a wonderful philosophy of yoga. Imagine the world if everybody had such thoughts. There would be no need for racial conflicts or religious conflicts or inter-country wars. When everybody had that perspective, when our thoughts are so high, automatically our actions will be good. And when our actions are good, our habits become good. And when our habits are noble, beneficial and productive, then our personality blossoms. When our personality blossoms, we become not only joyous for ourselves, but also auspicious and beneficial for all the wonderful people around us, for whom we love and care. That this philosophy of yoga has got its variety of aspects, and it is realized in higher and higher and higher and even higher levels. The Bhagavad Gita also informs us that the highest realization of yoga is in loving, devotional surrender to the Supreme Divine Entity. But before we come to that, I'd like to take another perspective that yoga presents in how we understand our personality. There is another scripture called the Yoga Vasisht, which is a conversation between Lord Ram and his spiritual preceptor Maharshi Vasisht. Ram toured his kingdom and found that people are sick. Seeing their afflictions, he was moved to pity. And with the utmost compassion for his citizens, he returned to his Guru and said, Gurudev, what is the cause of disease? Now we have one medical perspective where the body is just like a bag of chemicals, and there is one problem, you pop a pill and it's supposed to get it cured. Slowly, in John Hopkins, etc., they are correcting this reductionist understanding to a more holistic model. And look at the wisdom that is offered thousands of years ago by Maharshi Vasisht. He said, Ram, disease begins in our mind itself. This human personality has its different dimensions. The spiritual soul is encased in 5 sheets. The grossest is the physical body. Subtler than that is the vital energy sheet called Prana Kosh. Subtler than that is the mental sheet. Even subtler is the intellectual sheet. Even subtler is the bliss sheet. And within them all is the real self, the real you, which is the eternal soul. So, Guru Vasisht said, Ram, when the mental sheet gets disturbed, we harbor thoughts of negativity, of stress, of anxiety, of greed, of uncontrolled desires and aversions and hatreds, not the way this mind is supposed to function by its creator. When that mental sheath gets disturbed, the disturbance is passed on to the vital energy sheath or the pranamaya kosha. In other words, there's a disruption in the flow of the prana, which the Chinese call chi and the Vedas call pranic energy. We have a hospital that runs in our ashram in India. It's a naturopathy hospital. Minoji and Minoji went there for a body detox. So in naturopathy, what they do is they firmly believe that the body has the energy to heal itself if the conditions are made conducive. So the inner force in the body is revitalized without any drugs. Only naturopathic therapies like mud bath and steam bath. So that vital energy in the body, and the mental sheath is disturbs, it disturbs the vital sheath, and that then starts manifesting in the gross body as disease. So mere popping of pills will not suffice in bestowing health. What a terribly reductionist perspective of this human personality. Are we just a bag of chemicals? Beyond that is the vital sheath. Some of the Indians must be familiar with Baba Ramdev. His pranayam has brought about such tremendous health benefits. He focused on the vital sheath and the benefits of pranayam. But beyond that is the mind. If you can fix the mind, it will automatically bestow physical benefits as well. And the Vedas don't stop there. They say, how can your mind be correct if your values are wrong? If you value money over your family, then naturally your whole life will be money, money, money. If you value professional success beyond internal peace, then how can you avoid doing high in the office? So if you actually wish to control the mind, you have to set the intellect right. That is the intellectual sheath. But there is another sheath beyond that, which is the bliss sheath. Where does your intellect believe that bliss lies? Because ultimately it's all about bliss. We are all bliss seekers. Somebody decided that bliss is in social prestige and he's trying to go around winning elections. Somebody decided that bliss is in God and he's become a Baba like me. People ask me, why did you take this path? I don't know. The only thing is, somehow I got this belief that the happiness I'm searching for is in God. And this step was so natural. So our life moves in the direction of where we decide true bliss lies. But the correction has to start from there. The philosophy of yoga says that the bliss of the world which you are running after in temporary things, has got three attributes to it. That bliss is finite. You become whatever, the director of your company, but then there's a CEO above. So the bliss from being a director doesn't satisfy you because the CEO has got more bliss. Whatever bliss you get, there's a higher bliss and you are still unsatisfied. Plus number 2, that bliss is insentient. It keeps wearing off. A new song is released in Hollywood or Bollywood, and everybody goes gaga over it. Wow, this is the best. The first day they listen to it 5 times, the second day they listen to it 3 times. Within 1 week they're only listening to it once, and after 10 days it's put aside. So the bliss keeps dwindling until it finishes off. So the bliss is finite, it is decreasing, and it is temporary. In other words, it doesn't always remain. However, the bliss that our soul seeks is such a bliss that once achieved will remain forever. Plus, it will be ever fresh. Now you experience divine bliss, you see God. Wow! After 1 hour, even better. After 10 hours, even better. This is the ever-increasing spiritual joy. Plus, it must be infinite in extent. That kind of bliss you get when your mind achieves yoga with the Supreme Personality. When your intellect, your values, your lifestyle, your thoughts are in conformance with the Supreme Absolute.